Om Namah Shivaya. In all my interactions with our fellow Indian Kashmir Panditjis, this is what I hear either in the beginning or at the end of the conversation. Om Namah Shivaya. This is same Om Namah Shivaya that we keep hearing in our Saiva Siddhanta program conducted by Thiruvadurai Adinam in Chennai. So, what a better way to confirm national integration Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Welcome to our Saturday weekly series. Today is our 15th session, and today's topic is, as we know, Kashmir Shaivism Part 2. Today's prayer is also going to be by Srimati Emma Kasi, wife of Sri Virendra Kasi. Over to you, Madam.
Pranam and Om Namah Shivaya. I'll start with the Shankar Prarthana, Prarthana of Lord Shiva. Pranatosmi Mahadeva, Prapannosmi Sadashiva, Nivare Mahamrityum, Mrityunjaya Namostute, Mrityunjaya Mahadeva, Pahi Mam Sharanagatam, Janma Mrityu Jara Roge, Pidhitam Bhavabandanatham, Karapura Gauram, Karunavataram, Samsara Saram, Bhujagendraharam, Sada Vasantam, Hridayarbinde, Bhavam Bhavani, Sahitam Namami, Har Shambho Mahadeva, Vishveshamar Vallabha, Shri Shankara Sarvatman, Nilakantha Namostute, Nilakantha Namostute, Nilakantha Namostute. Thank you. Over to Virendra ji.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Emma Kazi. We thank Sri Kanchi Mat for our ongoing initiative and offer our namaskarams to His Holiness Sri Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigals. With his blessings, we continue with our Kashmir Cultural Heritage lectures. Today's session is by Virendra Kazi, considered a spiritual mentor. We already covered Kashmir Shaivism in part 1, and today's session is going to be continuation of his last session. I'll also briefly talk about few other things on Virendra Kazi. Kanchimat has always been in the forefront, modestly working with the sole aim of national integration, spiritual enlightenment, and spreading the uniqueness as Kashmir is our cultural heritage. Now, we are very pleased to invite Sri Virendra Kasi.
Maya Kundalani Kriya Madhumati Kali Kala Malini Matangi Vijaya Jaya Bhagavati Devi Shiva Shambhavi Shakti Shankar Vallabha Trunayana Vagvagdhani Bhairavi Himkari Tripuri Para Paramahi Mata Kumari Tasai. Om Namah Shivaya. Last Saturday, I witnessed great blessing of Paramacharya, which made me reveal the subtle wisdom of Shaivagamas. First, let me offer my hand-folded pranam and gratitude to Pujyashri Shri Shankara Vijendra Saraswati Shankaracharya Swamigal. We are indeed overwhelmed by his most needed vision to revive the heritage of Kashmiri Pandits. Already a great awareness has spread, and we have started exploring the various aspects, especially what Swamiji guided us about the Kashmiri Karma Kanda of Lugakshi Rishi. It will need a great revival, and I'm sure, as I've been often discussing with Shankarji, that our South Indian Pandits will greatly help in reviving our Karma Kanda. Then, of course, we plan a very good celebration of Shivaratri, which has a focus on the lost tradition, revival of the lost tradition of Kashmir. Similarly, many other activities will start, like Yagnopavit ceremonies and many other things will start exploring with, of course, the blessing of His Holiness. Kindly recall the beginning of my last week's program. Kindly recall, when I offered pranam, I said to Lord Shiva, who resides in all of you as your inner divinity. And again, I made a little focus. I stress that whatever conditions we may be, whether we are happy, we are unhappy, please remember the divine light, the Jyoti, the divine light of Lord Shiva and Mata Parvati is fully shining within us. Please always remember this. In fact, this is the essence of the teaching of Shaivagamas. What is that? I am Shiva. Everything is Shiva. You are Shiva. Even the so-called bondage is also Shiva. Let us focus more on this, because now I remember the great Acharya of Kashmir Shaivism, Pandit Somananda of 19th century. He starts his book, very important book, called Shiv Drishti, the Mangal Shloka. I will translate the little para of Mangal Shloka. What it says, please remember, he says, let Shiva, who is myself, do pranam to his real nature, to universal Shiva, myself Shiva, do pranam to universal Shiva, by his own Shakti, for removing the bondage and limitation, which is nothing but Shiva. So, this subtle wisdom, I want my little friends to focus on this, that even the bondage is also Shiva. Who removes the bondage is also Shiva. Please remember, if you focus on the Shiva, I tell as a simple guidance to my divine friends, please remember, you are nothing, you are part of Shiva. Have total faith in Shiva. What will happen tomorrow? It will be good. Shiva will do it. I always tell people, this moment, the immediate future, tomorrow and future, leave it to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva will take care of it. If there is any so-called problem, it will be cleared by Lord Shiva only. Have this firm faith. This is very important essence of Kashmir Shaivism. Now, last my lecture, I covered various narrations of Kashmir Shaivism. In fact, it's very important. I covered, I said, four broad categories of Shaivism: Shaiva Siddhanta of Tamil Nadu, Baswana's Veer Shaiva's philosophy, then Advaita philosophy, based essence of Upanishads, Vedic philosophy. Then I talk of Kashmir Shaivism, which is inspired by Tantras, a revelation of between Lord Shiva and Parvati. This I did last time. I also mentioned about the birth of Tantra. In fact, that in the poster, that beautiful picture was posted by Shankarji. That is there. This is called Swachanda Bhairava, revealed Lord Shiva in Panch Book 5, Great Faces of Lord Shiva. It reveals the Tantras, dualist Tantra, monistic Tantra, monistic cum dualistic Tantra. Then I also mentioned, but then what happened when Kal Yuga came? All these great rishis and sadhakas, they went into hiding. They said every knowledge will be misused. This world is not worth sharing the knowledge. But Lord Shiva is ever compassionate. Lord Shiva assumed the form of Shrikantanatha. Again, that picture was in the poster. Shrikantanatha, and initiated sage Durvasa into Shaiva Agamas. So we may say this: our main guru is sage Durvasa, and then Durvasa could not find any competent disciple who he could initiate. So he created mind-born son, Trambhakanatha, and this tradition continued, discussed last time. And I also said it was very important that this knowledge was revived in 8th century. This knowledge was revived in 8th century by sage Vasugupta, whom Lord Shiva came in dream, and Shiv Sutras were discovered. And then how it in 9th century says Somananda, then the greatest genius of Shaiva Agamas was Acharya Abhinav Gupta. He wrote the Tantra Loka, 37 chapters. He compiled all the treasures of Agamas in that single text, Tantra Loka. He's a beautiful, he was a master of aesthetics, dance, every aspect, Sangeet, everything he covered. He did the greatest contribution to Indian philosophy as well as art and culture. In fact, he gave a new direction to this. 2-3 days back, I had some students who were, one was a young girl from New Jersey. She said she's interested in dance, Bharati Natyam. I said, my dear, you must focus that on Lord Shiva. The Lord Shiva is doing the dance. By Lord Shiva's grace, you are doing the dance. If we evolve from materialism to the spirituality, dance is the biggest form of sadhana. This is all contribution of great sage Acharya Abhinav Gupta. We also covered essence of Kashmir Shaivism, the main features of Kashmir Shaivism, basically for beginners, and maybe we'll go on. We'll do a lot of. I will my own lectures. We'll start learning more and more. But my only humble submission, humble request to the beginners is, let us not, there are many subtle aspects. Forget about all subtle aspects. Let's simply learn. Number one is Paramashiva, who is beginning and end of the philosophy. Everything emanates from Paramashiva. Everything goes back to Paramashiva. Then second thing, which I discussed last time also, the manifestation, the world manifestation. That is how Shiva becomes Jiva. How Shiva becomes Jiva, because Paramashiva has the two aspects, Prakasha and Vimarsha, the light and the experience. It is the Vimarsha aspect, the Shakti aspect, which focuses, which fulfills the divine desire of Lord Shiva to manifest the whole world. The Shakti is the key to manifestation, Vimarshani Mata. And when Lord Shiva desires have this worldly manifestation, the Shakti first creates tattvas. That's called 36 tattvas. We call it Sadashiv Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Shuddha Vidya. Then Lord Shiva also creates Maya Shakti, the wheeling power, The supreme knowledge becomes a limited knowledge. The supreme presence becomes limited presence. Supreme capability becomes limited capability. Maya is the limiting knowledge of the worldly manifestation. Then from Shiva, then we have Maya, then her coverings, then Purush, Prakriti, limited being, limited nature, then Buddhi, Ahankara, Manas, Jnanendra, Karmendra. This is also a, it will take a lot of time. Whether it's a divine, is a chapter of divine manifestations. But I will conclude. It's very beautiful. This 36 tattvas, how Shiva becomes Jiva. Basically, it is downward journey from subtle to gross. If you all my friends remember, in Shaivism also same chapter is there called, the Panch Mahabhutas, and with what it ends with, again subtle to gross, that is ether or akasha. Next is Agni. Next is Vayu. Sorry. Then comes Agni, then Jal, and then Prithvi. The Prithvi, the earth, is the subtlest of all things, the solid. And above Prithvi, subtler is water. Water can blow off earth. Water will not stay. Earth will not stay before water. And above water is Agni. Agni can dry the water. Agni is a shelterer. You cannot feel the Agni. Water you can at least see. Agni is more powerful than the water. Water will disappear before Agni. And before Agni is Vayu. Wind will blow up the Agni. And everything is based on this Akash, ether. Ether holds everything. Ether holds, the sky holds, earth also holds all these Mahabhutas. In fact, I tell my young friends, of course, maybe I will again cover this again. There's a very simple Kriya of Vijnana Bhairava. If you morning watch the sky and take energy from the sky, every day will be beautiful, energetic, happy, and fruitful. Maybe I'll get opportunity to talk about meditation aspect of this. Everybody can do this thing. The purpose of this was telling how Shiva becomes Jiva. How Shiva becomes Jiva as a sport of Lord Shiva himself. Now, then what is the purpose? Purpose of life is to go back to Shiva. Find your Shiva nature. You are Shiva only. Find your Shiva nature, which is given in Shiv Sutra in the 4 upayas. I mentioned last time about it. I will not give more details. But upayas there are 3 main upayas called Shambhopaya, Shaktopaya, and Anopaya. Shambhopaya is called when you have reached your destination, the energy of will. When you have become thoughtless and desireless state, you have reached the destination. Here we call it Ichha Shakti Uma Kumari. What happens for such a yogi who has overcome thoughtless, desireless state? His will itself is the potent energy, Uma, of Lord Shiva. Below Shambhopaya state is Shaktapai, energy of contemplation, energy of knowledge, or is also called Shakti Tattva. Means when you are totally focused on your goal, you are totally focused on your destiny. That is Shaktopaya. When you totally become inward, when no action ceases, Shaktopaya begins, which we do it practically in Vijnana Bhairava meditation. And below that is Anupaya. Anupaya is energy of action, which covers everything. Again, here I focus on subtle to gross. I have elaborated. I'll briefly elaborate. Like again, subtle is Dhyana Yoga, then Uchara Yoga, the Karna Yoga, and Sathana Parikalpana. Outside Tirth Yatra, then Karna on the body, then on Uchara on the breath yoga, and then on meditation yoga, Dhyan. So these are all basically a little bit about basics of Shaiva Agamas, which a beginner must try to thoroughly learn, grasp it. And only once you grasp it, you can go for the higher level of learning. And last time also, before I was continuing, that I have that about the sadhana aspect, which I will do it today also. But before that, let me spend 3-4 minutes. Mr. Our Shankarji, he had a very interesting discussion. He had a focus on some spiritual flyers. 1 or 2 he can I can request Shankarji. I can answer that. He said, let me answer it because
Always trying to research on the internet about your topics, and I could see quite a lot available. So I just wanted to briefly touch upon some of the flyers I have seen that I'm going to display here. First one, it talks about Kashmiri shaivism. That is what I think this flyer, I am seeing this at the topic you are covering. And then I will go into the next one. This one, I hope you are able to see that. This is again from one of your flyers. Probably you look very young there, as you could see. The spiritual retreat with Sri Virendra Kazi on Shiva Sutras and Vigyan Bhairava Tantra. So, very intriguing topics. And I could see knowledge session and experiential session. So, it runs for the whole day, and you are covering quite a lot of topics on this. Another one I'm seeing inner bliss with Kashmir Shaivism. This is another topic. It covers music, discourse, and meditation. Next topic I see explore spiritual journey and meditation with ancient spiritual wisdom of Kashmir Shaivism. Then I see one more human upliftment through Kashmiri Shaivism. Everywhere I see the common word here is Kashmir Shaivism. So that's the one I wanted to touch upon. It looks like you won't be able to cover all this in our two sessions. Maybe if you can talk about this little bit, we can run a separate session on all that. They are very interesting topics, and I'm sure most of our viewers will be interested. If you can schedule something, all these topics are all with a common denominator I could see is Kashmir Shaivism, and and then it branches off into something else. So that's all I wanted to share with our viewers and get your views on all that.
so. Let me have a briefly share a few words on this. This very interesting human upliftment. I talk of human upliftment. Why I use the word upliftment? Because Lord Shiva is again, I emphasize, Lord Shiva is within you only. You have you are self uplift. Nobody other man will not uplift. There is no external energy. Energy must come within you only. And human upliftment, because I always say that human values also is a goal, is a main goal of spirituality. General spirituality goal is human values. So human, you are yourself, you have to uplift, because I again always say that you are Shiva, you are no less than Shiva. Then which I just now discussed, I request my friends, learners of who wants to learn Kashmir Shaivism, please focus on these limited aspects only. That will give you, and try to be a little thorough on these aspects. It will give you great confidence, boost, and prepare you for higher journey, rather than straightway go to higher knowledge when we don't have the basis. So I always recommend that, which I have topics I have covered: Paramashiva, from Shiva to Jiva, that is manifestation, descent from subtle to gross, from Shiva to Jiva. Then I talk of Shiv Sutras, that's going back to the divine, again from Jiva to back to Shiva. So, which is help is only through Shiv Sutra. That is three great upayas: Shambhopaya, Shaktopaya, and Anupaya. Then I talk of Vijnana Bhairav. Vijnana Bhairav is very interesting. What is Vijnana Bhairav is no common. It is you will see a lot of America lectures on Vijnana Bhairav, day one, day two, this thing. But I will request my divine friends, take the authentic teaching, classical, traditional, authentic teaching of like Swami Lakshmanju, who was a deep, great practitioner of Shaiva Agamas, and his knowledge is much more authentic. So Vijnana Bhairava is a discourse between Lord Shiva and Mata Parvati. The beauty is Lord Mata Parvati asks a lot of questions to Lord Shiva. what is the goal? What is the goal of samadhi? What is the goal of life? How can we be spiritual? Vagara, vagara. And Lord Shiva is in great mood. He answers a question one by one by one. He said, "Oh, let me be, oh Lord Shiva, be more practical." Then Lord Shiva says, "Oh, lotus-eyed, oh, lotus-eyed, my consort, let me reveal you 112 techniques of God realization." 112 techniques. They're all very subtle. They are mystic. They are totally internal. They are beyond rituals. And I will also tell people, if you learn 3 4 techniques in your lifetime, that is enough to get evolved. Because Mr. Shankarji always use the word, please get evolved, please evolve yourself. So there will be a great, great aid if we even master 2 3 techniques only. So these are all, but world is fascinated with Vijnana Bhairav techniques. And we see in great mystics, Sufi mystic masters or something, they will teach same thing. So it's our own great spiritual treasure. We need to lot of research. A lot of books have been lost also. That I'm also student of it. And there is a great book of Khemaraja's techniques. It is half missing. In fact, we wish you could get some manuscript somewhere. This is because world is very keen on this knowledge of Vijnana Bhairava. And that is my, so I conduct one day session, maybe half days practical. Again, Shankarji said one is first is a knowledge session, then practical session. It is better one should also go on the little practical side. But today I will try to be a little also on the practical side, so that sometimes we extend to 2 days, then sometimes we conduct into 3 4 day session. We have a meditation in silence also. That is much more effective. This is how we conduct our teaching programs. And again, I request all my friends, any question, any query, please take number of Mr. Shankar. I think I would request him to coordinate, and if people are benefited, nothing like it. I always request, last request is to all my spiritual friends, you will get really grace of Lord Shiva. Learn and share. If you like the path, if you like the technique, if it is easy, then you share with friends. Let us uplift everybody, and let world become dharmic society, good society. Om Namah Shivaya. Now we'll continue our this beautiful spiritual journey. Today I want to cover this time very important aspects of Kashmir shaivism, which our friends should know about, be aware of it. I call it the principle of 3 4 5. The principle of 3 4 5. This aspect of Kashmir shaivism, kindly be aware of it. What is 3 4 5 is 3 malas. I will describe this 3 malas. 3 mala is Anomala, Mayamal, and Karammal. Then next is 3 4 5. Next is 4 stages in the manifestation of speech. These are very important aspects to sadhana. Any Hindu sadhana, any Oriental sadhana. These are the very, very important aspects of this. That's called Para, Pashanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari. They are the 4 stages in the manifestation of speech. And 5 is called Panchakrit. Panchakrit is the 5 great acts of Lord Shiva. We commonly know Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, creation, preservation, and dissolution, destruction, whatever you call it. And here we add 2 more acts. In the Shiv Puran emphasizes about it, Shaiva Agmas deeply emphasize about it, called Panchakrit, the 5 great acts of Lord Shiva. We call it, I will describe about it in detail. These are very, very important things one should know about it. Maybe today is a slightly technical, but my effort is to make it as simple as possible, as easy as possible. Now, what about 3 malas? Kindly listen. What is mala? Mala is a taint or impurity. They say Lord Shiva, just to create this divine process, He creates three malas, three taints in human action. What is the first mala is, as I said, anava mala. Anava mala is inherent weakness. The first weakness. What is the first weakness? Like a child is born, child like 6 7 years baby will go to his mother. She may be ugliest mother. Child will go to his ugliest mother, his or her ugliest mother. And child will not go to a beautiful girl because she will only be attached that she is free of malas, free of impurities. And when child becomes bigger, then we say child knows, other he becomes a politician. So if you give him a toppy, he will smile. The state comes in the human body. And the first weakness, inherent weakness, this is called anomal, very, very natural weakness. They say even this anomal difficult to control. Even great sages get affected with anomal, like sage Durvasa. That's why sage is Vishwamitra and Menika, example of anomal only. Now, what happened? This first impurity, I will again elaborate this malas further. This anamala, the first weakness, leads to maya mala. What is maya mala? Maya mala is the power of limitation. This is mine, this is not mine. I can do this, I cannot do this. This even Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ankar is product of maya mala only. Maya mala give limitation. It is an internal weakness. Your mind is beset with internal weaknesses, with limitations, is mala. Then what happens when we have got the limitations? Then you execute the outside execution, that is karamala. Karamala is our actions, limiting actions, actions born out of maya mala. So I am doing this good work will give me good reward. This bad action will give me no. I must prevent myself from bad action. This will give me bad result. So we are doing actions for profit and loss. They say generally what happens when a person leaves this body, he is born with the samaskara of karamal. Is good and bad. Then he is given pralad karma, sanchit karma, and then again he creates good and bad. This birth and death continues. And that's why the essence of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, do nishkam karam, then only your karma binds you. Do nishkam karam, and then only you will come to me. Be the come of sages, saints, nishkam karam, forget about it. You are not the doer. That is a gyan, you must be aware of it. But Shiva Agmas goes a little further. Shiva Agmas says, oh, Lord Shiva is a doer, Lord Shiva is an enjoyer. Lord Shiva is a doer, Lord Shiva is an enjoyer. I'm not bothered. I'm with Shiva only. I'm Shiva. So it is a beautifully explained. It is just like I am traveling in a train. I am carrying a box on my head. Or a train is carrying the box. We say everything is carried done by Lord Shiva. You think you are the doer, so you suffer. Momentary happiness, momentary sadness. In fact, this aspect of malas, I tell my sometimes friends, oh, please remember your relative. Remember your father's friend, mother's friend, whom everybody would respect. A great man, everybody will like calm man. We get peace in his presence. If you watch him, he will never be affected by any goodness or badness. He won't be overjoyed with anything. Oh Lord, Shiva is a doer. Any bad is this too shall pass. So we must again focus on the Lord Shiva as a doer. That is the best way Shiva Agama says how to come out of Karamal. Now Mayamal gives us gives us a bad samskara. If you don't control Mayamal, they say you will have suffer in this very life. You enjoyment thing in old age, nobody will bother you. You won't become a good human being unless you get rid of Mayamal. Now coming back to Anomal is a very subtle impurity. The same sages and saints are affected by Anomal. The great Acharya Vanagut says, sir, how to come out of Anomal, this difficult taint or impurity. They say after being humble and noble, after you are humble and noble, then go to Lord Shiva, surrender to Sharanagatam. Surrender to divine, surrender to Lord Shiva. Tell you, oh Lord Shiva, it is because of you only I have something goodness. Only Lord Shiva can prevent you from Anumala, because this is the first mala. Here I want to mention beautiful narration of Anumala by Acharya Abhinav Gupta in Tantra Loka. He says, Jiva and Shiva are one. We are enjoying the glory of Lord Shiva. Shiva is with us in the realm of Lord Shiva. The Jiva is there, he's enjoying the glory. Then this Shiva, this Jiva has a curiosity. A curiosity. What is that curiosity? Oh, what is outside of the Shiva? I'm in total bliss. I'm with Lord Shiva, but I have got a foolish purpose, a curiosity without any purpose. I have no purpose, but just a curiosity. Oh, what is outside the Shiva's regime? What is outside? This curiosity is called Anomala. This is a beautiful thing analyzed by Acharya Panagut. This is a beautiful curiosity. That's why it is very important. Anomala is the beginning of all impurities. The sudden curiosity of what is going on outside. So those who are doing sadhana, you are with the sages. You may think that, oh, sages is excellent. I am in total bliss. And I have some temptation to go into worldly side also. That creates a hindrance. How we go a little bit distract from our sadhana. Now, what happens? This anamala, this curiosity, then leads to limitations called maya mala. This, that, this is mine, this is not mine. I am here, I am not there. Limitations, and maya mala will go to karamala, as I explained. And please remember the beautiful Shiv Sutra, the first chapter, again and again I say, is Shambhava Paya, the realm of will. Shambhava Paya, the first 5 shalukas describe this malas only. So it is very important to explain it. I hope I'm not difficult. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. The Shambhava Paya, the first shloka is Chaitanyam Atma. That Atma is Chaitanyam. I am everything. The Jiva is Shiva. Atma is Chaitanyam. Atma is Shiva. In fact, one of my spiritual teachers would say, oh, my dear, why don't you believe when Lord Shiva is giving you in writing in Shiv Sutras that you are Shiva? So this first emphasizes the very, very important shloka Chaitanyam Atma of Shambhabaya. The second thing is, second shloka is Jnanam Bandha, knowledge the bondage. Which knowledge? Knowledge that I have a doubt on this Chaitanyam Atma. I am really part of Lord Shiva. If I have a little doubt, that is anomal exactly. That is that jnanam is that knowledge is a bondage. Jnanam bandha. The knowledge, the doubt that I'm not part of universal consciousness, that is anomala. That is the second shlok, jnanam bandha. Now, third shlok says, Yoni varga kala shariram. Lord Shiva says, I only create karamal also. And I only create Yoni Varga from the womb of Maya. I only create Maya Mal also. This also is created by me only. Why? Why it is created? It is beautifully given in 4th shloka. Jnana, Drishtana, Matrika. The mother goddess. Mother goddess controls this malas. The Matrika, the alphabets. The mother goddess control these malas, and she remains hidden and unrealized. She remains hidden. Why she remains hidden? Because people must get engaged in their action. They should not get realized. Let you, this is mine. In sansari worldly activities, people must get engrossed. Why? It is through the mother goddess. But then what happens? Once we realize the mother goddess, we realize the real purpose. Then there is a 5th shloka called Udhyamo Bharva. This is the mantra. But Udhyam, who does Udhyam? Bhairav does Udhyam. But then by his single grace, all the triple bondages are destroyed. All 3 malas are destroyed by his grace. So let us chant Udhyamo Bharva. So that's why I'm very fascinated by this first 5 shalukal of Shambhopai, which reflects the theory of malas. Now, coming back, because these are all 8 our sadhana also, our realization, I described 3 malas. I described 3 malas. Then, as I said, 4 stages in the manifestation of speech. That is Para, Pashanti, Madhyama, and Vaikri. Kindly listen carefully this. I talk verbally something. I am giving lecture. Ideas I am out coming out from my mouth. It's called Vaikri, the uttered speech. The uttered speech is Vaikri. It can be in the form of speech. It can be in the form of any external manifestation. It can be a painting. It is a what is manifested. It is called Vaikri. And before Vaikri, what happens? There's a mental speech when I have different ideas. My Madhyama is aspects of Kashmir shaivism. I have talked to you. I have conceived some ideas which I am sharing with you. First, I conceive the ideas, then I share with you. That's called, we can call it mental speech. Before express speech, there is mental speech, which is called Madhyama. Maybe I have different ideas. I want to make a painting with the sky and blues, the water and this and that. When I have different ideas, when my mind is this thing, that's called Madhyama. And before Madhyama is Pashanti. Pashanti is the mental speech, beholding speech. It is a vision. It is a beholding speech. But Pashanti leads to Madhyama. Madhyama leads to Vaikri. Pashanti is a subtlest speech. And before, it is just like you are on a hilltop. You see the entire town, undistinguished. There's a temple, there's a school, there are houses, there's a lake. There's a single vision. That is the Pashanti. And before Pashanti is Para. Para is a supreme speech. From Para is a Shiv Tattva. From Para speech comes everything. Para speech gives rise to Pashanti. Pashanti gives rise to Madhyama. Madhyama gives rise to Vaikri. And please, in your sadhana also, we'll say, as I said, subtle to gross. Now, Madhyama is subtle. Madhyama is always powerful than Vaikri. And Pashanti is always powerful than Madhyama. And of course, Para is the supreme speech. Para is the base of everything. And people say that, you talk something, you mean something else. That in Madhyama and Pashanti, in the Vaikri is not in harmony. So, why we say, suppose we do japa, mental japa is more powerful. And just I don't know how many people, friends, can catch me. And further clarification, please contact Mr. Shankar. I talk something Vaikri. I'll say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Then let me close my eyes, internally chant Om Namah Shivaya. It is definitely on Shaktapa. It is a higher wisdom. This is called Madhyama. And what I do in my sadhana, when I sit on a something, my mind automatically chants Om Namah Shivaya. When things happen automatically, then I have gone to Pashanti level, automatic level, beholding speech. We call it Ajapa Jap. Jap happens naturally. Jap happens automatically. That is the Pashanti. And when you in dhyana, when your Pashanti opens, your vision opens. You are in Shamahopa state. They say even the great Durvasa Rishi, at that time tradition was of student and guru. Guru will not give everything in writing. He will not give a book. And Guru will speak and you will 100% receive the gyan that they talk in Pashanti level. They will initiate you in the Pashanti level. In fact, this has to be experienced. So I tell my sometimes friend, please try from Vaikri to Madhyama. Only this much you try. You will slowly, with your practice, you will go on the Pashanti level. Of course, Para is the supreme level. This was one of the hints of our sadhana, spiritual sadhana. Focus on Para, Pashanti, Madhyama, and Vaikri. Try to go from Vaikri to Madhyama level, and Pashanti will be the fruit of Madhyama, of your heart. This thing. Now, my third point is Panchakrit, 5 great acts of Lord Shiva. As I mentioned, we are aware of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, creation, preservation, and dissolution. Please remember, in the language of Shaiva Agamas, we don't say it is creation. We'll say explained as a emanation. Lord Shiva emanates his own form, doesn't create. Emanation, emanates his own form, his own sarup. We further classify it as an emanation. Then next is preservation. Of course, preserves is the same Sarup, Lord Shiva preserves. And then we say not dissolution. There's nothing destruction, dissolution are some, my friends will say it's a disappearance. No, Lord Shiva withdraws his own Sarup. Whole thing is that we are all Shiva. Emanates his Sarup, preserves his own Sarup, and withdraws his own Sarup. Now the point is, God does everything, then how human is involved? Lord Shiva does two more act. What is called wheeling power of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva hides. Lord Shiva goes behind a wheel. It is a Tirodhan Kriya of Lord Shiva. Because of Tirodhan Kriya of Lord Shiva, what happens? Everybody Shiva, you are Shiva, me Shiva. But many form one, it is because of the Tirodhan Kriya of Lord Shiva. We get affected by Maya, because of the power of Lord, Tirodhan Shakti of Lord Shiva. The wheeling power of Lord Shiva makes us to see different. Then who can make us realize that the fifth act of Lord Shiva is called Anugrah, the power of bliss. So Lord Shiva goes in hiding, then Lord Shiva comes out. Who can take Lord Shiva out of that? We say, who Lord Shiva goes behind the curtain, then who can take out Lord Shiva from the curtain? Who else but Lord Shiva himself? Then the Lord Shiva is called revelation. They think he gives us anugraha. He bestows us the knowledge. He makes us realize also. Lord Shiva creates. Lord Shiva sustains. Lord Shiva's withdraw. Lord Shiva does wheeling action. Tirodhana kriya. He hides. Then Lord Shiva reveals us. He also gives realization. In fact, I have put this very important thing in a very, very, very subtle way or crude, whatever you can call it. I say, suppose I am going to a big 5-star hotel. I go to 5-star hotel. What is that? That is creation. I have a nice lunch, sustenance. I enjoy the nice lunch. After having lunch, I just go back home, leave that hotel. That is called dissolution. Forget about it. Then my mind is focused towards nice dishes and this and that, everything of this thing. That is wheeling power of Lord Shiva. My mind is focused towards this Kaljugi, whatever worldly thoughts. Then I say, okay, this also is grace of Lord Shiva. This too shall pass. Great, all thanks to Lord Shiva, grace of his soul, everything is divine. That is called the revealing power of Lord Shiva, his anugrah. So, my dear friends, all the great sages, they always follow. They remain most of the time in the blessed state of Lord Shiva only. That they will not be moved by this and that. So please be aware, this is also very important. These three are part of our, our Shakti, our energy. Wheeling, three malas, 4 stages in the manifesto of speech, 5 great acts of Lord Shiva. If anything wants a practical guidance in their sadhana, how to follow it, so we are there to share whatever knowledge we have got. Now, in fact, I had some little more topics I wanted to cover, but we'll maybe in the next session also. What is very important thing is now I want my friends to try to evolve a little bit in sadhana also. I will talk for a few minutes on the sadhana aspect of Kashmir shaivism, which my friends can take. What is it? I always say, even meditation and sadhana, let us have always be imbibed in 3 qualities. One is humility, second is love, and third is compassion. Remember, this is the teaching of the masters. We see the life of masters, they follow in their own world themselves. We have to be humble. Let humble humility be our nature itself. And love, because Lord Shiva is in everybody. Let us love Lord Shiva, loves Lord Shiva. And third is compassion. Those who are less than us, we must be totally compassionate towards them. In fact, one of the great masters, his father also was a great scholar. He was a great sadhak also. Now, he told me, he said that he was an elderly couple, great scholar. He was sleeping. A thief entered his room. Thief entered his bedroom. Saw a lot of books. He thought he will get somebody, maybe gold, silver, or some currency, something. No, he's just shuffling the books here and there, here and there. And this gentleman, elderly gentleman, his eyes opened. He saw the thief working for a few minutes. He told him, "Oh, my dear son, very sorry. Your fingers are worn out, your hands got tired. I'm very sorry. Don't worry. I have 1 rupee, something 1 rupee in my pocket. I will share with you." The thief fell at his feet. He said, "Sir, I'll become your slave for my rest of my life. I got the God." This is the power of compassion. So we must always remember we have to be compassionate. These qualities, what will happen with these qualities? The divine grace will open. Lord Shiva's mercy will come to us. Automatically come to us. Now, secondly, I always tell my friends, have faith in yourself. That's very important. Have 100% faith in yourself. If you don't have faith in yourself, you will not have faith in the God also. In fact, yesterday was that Guru Parab, Guru Nanak's Guru Parab. In fact, my message to friends was one of the quotes of Guru Nanak only, that 100% faith. If you don't have faith on yourself, you won't have faith on God also. Because Lord Shiva is within you. You must have 100% faith in yourself. Second thing is, again, I use the word love yourself. Why you love yourself? Lord Shiva is within you. You are Lord Shiva. Remain nice. Be well dressed. Be comfortable. Let your body also be. Must take care of your body also. Because divine is within you. So love yourself. And third is, always be positive. What will happen tomorrow? It will be done good. Always you have to be positive, because Lord Shiva will do always good for us. Next moment will be good. Tomorrow will be good. And even again, I say, if there is a little so-called hindrance, it will be taken care of by Lord Shiva. So be positive for the future. And I always say, what happens? Negative energies roam around. Negative energies will affect only person who is a doubting mind, who is weak, who is frustrated, who is not spiritual. They'll be attacked by negative energies. So please be cautious of this. Always be positive. Now, coming back to this thing about simple tips of meditation for beginners. I said, how to open your chakras. That's very important. Physically be alert and active, be whatever you do, yoga, walk, exercise, whatever it is. And even before sadhana also, meditation, you have a take slow and long breaths, deep breathing, slowly exhale this thing, and have a deep breath and deeply exhaust, inhale and deeply exhale, so that chakras also clear, body is clear. And then please remember these 3 points of normal meditation which we do practice. We call it Shiva Samavesha. That is charged with Shivahood. I said that you should be fearless. Remember all these good points. You are a part of Lord Shiva, nothing other than Lord Shiva. So all the problems, leave it backside. Totally try to merge in from some time that I'm nothing, I am but Lord Shiva. Then second is Shuddh Vikalp. You must attain the Shuddh Vikalp, is very important. If you have to internally explore yourself. Shuddh Vikalp is, Shuddh is pure, Vikalp is thought construct. Because your mind has a tendency of imagination. Every moment it imagines something which is not imagination, means vikalpa, which is not reality. Maybe I have a pen. I wish, if it could have been golden pen, if it could have been this. We go on imagining. So what to do? One thing, we say we try for Shuddh Vikalpa. That's called pure thought construct. So what we do normally, we may have the best way is in Shaiva Agamas. You can first exhaust the Vakri, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Then you go to Madhima. You mentally repeat Om Namah Shivaya. Then you say, which is very important, then catch the Sandhi. I'll tell you, whatever mantra, I will not say, even say Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Radhe, whatever mantra you have, you recite in Vakri, then you recite in Madhima, then finally close your eyes and chant the mantra like Om Namah Shivaya. Then you please focus on the end of Om Namah Shivaya. After Om Namah Shivaya, totally focus before you start next Om Namah Shivaya. This gap, what will happen? 100% your mind will be absorbed. Your mind will never get wavered. If you follow this, not we talk about Om Namah Shivaya, my mind will be somewhere else. But if you do this, focus on this. I call it the point of Ananda, bliss. Om Namah Shivaya, then Ananda is just emptiness of this thing. Again, next Om Namah Shivaya. In fact, the great sages also, they, after one act, they think of other act, they focus on the gap. So this is where we can totally have the real good Shuddh Vikalp we can reach. Then, of course, Vijnana Bhairav tells us, which we'll do in a bigger session for that. Vijnana Bhairav tells us energy of prana. Energy of prana. We must, after doing this, let us watch the breath. Let us watch the breath. Breath comes from our mind, from external nostrils. It goes out. The first dharana says this. Even this, we automatically do the japa shivoham soham hamsa jap. So and hamsa. So and hums. When we exhale, we recite so, and when we inhale, we recite hum. And it breath comes from the region of heart. It's called distance of 12 fingers, dwadasha, antrik dwadasha, and from the region of nostril, it goes out to external dwadasha, external space. So breath starts from the region of heart, nostrils, go to the space. Then from the space, again starts from and enters the nostrils and again dissolves in the breath. So this is a general japa is called Soham Hamsa Jap. It is they say the goddess makes us to do this. They say breath is urdhgami. It has a tendency to rise from the heart. So just basically watch this breath. Watch this breath with, as it starts. Go with the breath, and you can mentally recite so hum, and watch it going out and watch again coming back. This is also very popular. Many watching the breath is a great Buddhist exercise. Many they prescribe for meditation beginning. First breath is called watching the breath. Then we talk of normally, which we do this, make this my friends to do this practice. Then the fourth dharana is, then once we exhale, you withhold for some time. Then before you inhale, again you hold it. Then we basically, I locate the center point. When breath goes out and breath comes in, I locate the center point. And they say center point is the source of an action. As I said, Om Namah Shivaya, you talk of Anand. So once we exhale, forcefully try to locate, then before inhale. Again, you take breath in, then 1 or 2 seconds you forcefully locate it. This is how we try to go on the sandhi. Then next dharana is automatically you focus on sandhi. We don't watch, do anything. We focus on these 2 points. This takes us to higher meditation. Then there are many techniques, but I request my friends, as I said, young people, but particularly young people, you can do your morning, wash your face, and please go to sky. When not sun has risen, sun is rising. Sun is rising. Best way is to, we are taking this connected to sky only. This is a very good thing for young people. Wash your face, then you can mentally chant Om Namah Shivaya 2-3 times. You are standing with your hands like this. Please chant. It's called Pulanti Kriya. Once only Om. Om. Eyes are closed. Totally, eyes are closed. You are chanting once only Om. Please watch that Om. Let your ear be very active. Ear till it Om disappears in the sky. Till end. 2-3 minutes. Just watch the sound of Om. This is called, this is also the Kriya of Vijnana Bhairav. This will also give you mental alertness. This will give you mental alertness, make you mentally alert. Your eyes are closed. Single Om, you are chanted, and you are watching the disappearance of the sound, how the sound merges in the sky. This all you are doing in your compound, in your balcony, just outside your flat, I mean, in the open space. Then after you do this, watch it for 4-5 minutes. Then you Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Do namaskar to the rising sun. See the glory of sky. It's one of the pramana manifestation is sun, rising sun. And of course, you can mentally chant also Om Namah Shivaya, but keep your eyes open for 4 or 5 minutes. You are deriving the energy of sky. And for young people, full day will be energetic, you'll be positive, you'll be in good thinking. And this is how you must evolve. But I had some points to cover, but I thought let me leave it to my time space. So, Lord Shiva bless all of us. Again, gratitude to His Holiness for organizing the lecture. We will be in touch with you regularly. So my request is last, learn and share. Om Namah Shivaya. Pranam to all.
Thank you, Sri Virendra Kaziji. It was a very interesting 1 hour session. Now I understand those flyers better. So each flyer, I think, covers this 3, 4, and 5. We also now realize why this morning walk and looking at the sky, you feel better once you start your day looking at the sky. You also covered about some techniques about meditation, and then you talked about the faith in yourself. Some are all like management topics, but all embedded into all this Kashmiri shaivism. And you also talked about be positive, which I am now fully aware of because that's how you conclude your telephone conversation with me. You all the time talk about be positive, things will happen, and I've been seeing things are happening. And that's why we are lined up to December 25th. That is going to be our 20th session. So thank you so much for very enlightened session today. And I'm sure we are going to have more slots for you, especially covering, I think each topic, and 3, 4, 5 is going to be, each one will have a couple of slots. So I'm sure we're going to be booked up to March. Be positive on that. So it's thank you again. Now, once again to all our viewers, we covered so far 15 sessions. As you can always go back and look at all the previous videos. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe by now. Our subscribership is now on the increase thanks to all the viewers. Now, next week, we are going to actually move away from all this topic, the secrets of Kashmir shaivism and the rich heritage and the very high standard of information that is available from Kashmir. Now, next week is going to be by Dr. Surinder Kaul. Dr. Surinder Kaul will be joining us from Houston, Texas. And his topic is going to be somewhat different. His topic is going to be return of Kashmiri Pandits. What needs to be done? It's going to be very interesting. And keep in mind everything that we covered in those 15 sessions. Now, the next session is going to make a lot of sense. And he is going to come and talk about this. And he's already well known in the field and also in the subjects that he has been talking about. So thank you very much once again. I'll be in touch with Sri Virendra Kaziji. I'll give my, Mr. Kaziji mentioned about my mobile number. My number is 98401-62295. You can always go back and check the number. I'm not going to repeat it. So please send me a message if you have any questions, and we will compile all that. And when Virendra Kasiji comes back talking about this 3, 4, 5 future slots, and we will have more techniques also on all the points he covered so far. We will take that up one by one, and that's it for today. And thank you so much. And we will meet again next Saturday same time at 7 p.m. As always, we thank VDSP for streaming this and kamakodi.tv, and our programs are going to be covered in Guru TV, the famous Chanakya TV that we are aware of. They are interested in our programs and they'll be streaming them. There are a few other channels that are going to cover, in addition to the Facebook, YouTube, and few other channels that are going to continue with our streaming. So thank you once again. We'll see you next Saturday.